Hi, this is Katie, and thank you for joining me on the My Senses, My Space podcast. And today I wanted to talk about your sense of community. And what that is when you are feeling connected to other people who have similar experiences as you, who are fighting for the same cause as you, or are connecting in ways that support one another. So whether or not you joined another group because you were feeling kind of isolated or alone, especially as a new parent, a lot of new parents feel very isolated and alone for those first many years, especially if you have multiple children. It's a very vulnerable period of time that you are reaching out saying like, I need some support here. Is this how things actually are? Or do you go through this as well? There's a lot that the community can support you with. It could be a shared identity, or discovering your identity. It could be that it's sports related. It could be through volunteer groups. It can be through religious groups and finding, a common belief and getting support. So whether it comes from like you're feeling like something is missing, that you want to gain new information, or maybe you're just curious. We all want to seek out other connections in life and to have the support of others. And it's an amazing thing to have that. And especially for those that can kind of feel outside typical societal norms, especially for the neurodivergent community, for those experiencing chronic illness, we will seek out like, hey, are you like me? Because a lot of times when I venture out into society, I feel like I don't belong. A lot of the things out there, whether it's physical and you're trying to navigate around physical things and it's really hard to do that, or just social constructs of just talking to each other, when those feel awkward or that you feel left out of those, we will seek other people who are going through the same thing. And so having that sense of support of other people going through that, of a common understanding, shared language in the sense of the words that you're using, and that you can relate to like talking about certain subjects using certain words, and so everyone has this common understanding, or you're learning new terminology that makes more sense out of your truth of what is really true in your life, and you're like, yes, no, that accurately describes where I am at right now, or what is happening, or the dynamics, or whatever else it is, that you can kind of come together going, yes, that is what we're experiencing together. It can be a place to, whether if it's online or in person, you can ask questions. You can say like, I don't know what to do here. I feel totally stuck. And there can be mentors that can help you out. And having people who have gone through that before just really opens up the possibilities of how you can step through and take your next steps in life as well. You can feel more engaged because they're fighting for certain causes that you feel aligned with. So when you are taking these steps, you're like, wait, I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing this with other people. And when you're doing that as a group, the momentum and the building of energy together is like critical. It can be really good for making change happen, whether it's just locally in your city or in your school, or small groups here, or reaching out beyond that, contacting senators, contacting representatives, and looking at how high can we go with saying this is a real need that our community has. There can be The negative side to this too, some people who feel very isolated can be very targeted by those in MLMs, multi-level marketing, because they say, hey, we have this whole community here that we've built out and they are all like you. And if you invest your money, then you can feel part of this community. And that's all the whole part of MLMs, is that as long as you're still giving them money, they will make you feel part of the group. And the moment that you stop, you are not part of the group anymore. And it can be other groups that have a lot more nefarious types of like drawing you in for political pressure to say, hey, if you join our group, we can fight against this is what you're feeling, even though that may not be a morally right thing to do. Sometimes that sense of community can push people into things that if they were looking at the whole picture before joining, they would probably go like, no, this is not for me. But as they slowly join these groups and go, well, I had no one else to lean upon, but this group is really supporting me and paying attention to my needs and understanding what I'm going through and giving voice to my frustrations. Why would I not join them? Which that can be very dangerous. So keeping in mind that not everything that we hear, like thinking about, are you going out and searching for groups that beforehand you're like, yes, this is who I'm looking for? Or are the groups like contacting you after you've made some posts somewhere or something and going, hey, would you like to join us? Just kind of like make sure that you have some space to critically think about things. You can also kind of Google up some terms that a lot of groups may use to try to coerce you to join, and see like, are they using these tactics? Are they using this kind of language? Because that's all kind of new language to me. Like what I was talking about, having a shared language, it can also be used in ways that may not ultimately align for you as well. So how do you look at this? We'll bring this back around from kind of a negative outlook, but how can you look at your community around you and feel that sense of connection? Maybe your local school boards or your city councils can be places that you can go and observe for a while. And that is a really good way of forming community, is just saying like, hey, I just want to observe and take this all in and then think about it. And I don't need to like immediately join anything. I can just sit back, watch, see how things are run, and see if I want to be a part of this. And I think that's a very healthy way to participate in your community. So I hope this gives you a few ideas on how to look around and see if you want to join communities, or if you're like, wait, I have too many, I'm stretching myself too thin with being involved in too many communities, and maybe there's some that I definitely want to stay a part of and others I can let go, because you can only do so much. So I hope this helps, and I will see you next time on the My Senses, My Space podcast.